Echo. What dreams may come. I'm out of the truck before Julian can even park, my to-go box spilling out on the gravel as I jog toward TJ. TJ, hey, what's wrong? You okay? The lynx doesn't respond, and when I get to him I see that his eyes are open. They're rolled back to the point where I can see only white. I bend over him, trying to help him sit up better, made more difficult by his bulky backpack getting in the way. As I'm doing this, I feel a rush of cold air from the mine blowing out through the rebar. I ignore it at first, focused on trying to get TJ to respond to me. Then I realise there's a hissing sound to go with it, like someone exhaling. I glance up through the grid, but I don't see anything. Still, I get the unnerving feeling that the opening is breathing somehow. Is he alright? Julian, shouting and running up next to me, turns my attention back to TJ. I look down at the lynx and see his ears twitching around. Huh? What? I crouch down next to him, putting a paw behind his head to give him some support. TJ, what happened? Are you okay? TJ turns to me, blinking in confusion. Okay? What's wrong? He rubs his eyes with the back of his paw before adjusting himself so he can sit up straight. You were just sitting there. You almost looked... Julian pauses. Looks like you were passed out or something. TJ finally seems to focus on this, the dazed look in his eyes disappearing. Passed out? Oh, no, I was just taking a quick nap. TJ lets out a short laugh and leans his head back against his backpack. What, here? I look back at the sealed mine, the ominous blackness still seeming to yawn open at us. Why? Well, it's hotter than usual today, so I started to feel like I was going to pass out. Thought that might be a bad sign, so I decided to rest once I got here. You came here on purpose? Yeah, I saw the canyon with you last time, so I decided to take a trip to the mine this time. TJ smiles lazily up at me as he continues to lounge against his backpack. Sorry, I worried you and... Oh, Julian! TJ seems to suddenly realise that Stag is here. What are you doing here? TJ quickly gets to his feet, sliding his arms out to the straps of his backpack. He hugs Julian, the Stag hugging back just as enthusiastically. TJ doesn't even greet me so intimately. I guess they have more of a history than I thought. Hey Tej, yeah, I met Chase at the diner. You weren't answering your text, so we both decided to come up and find you. That and Chase needs to get some footage for his project. Oh cool, do you need help with that, Chase? TJ turns to me with a grin. I don't know what it is, but TJ's acting a lot more chipper than he was yesterday. That almost dark broodiness is gone, replaced by his usual cheer. I had to smile because of it, despite the situation just a few minutes ago. Sure. Another breeze of cool air seems to whoosh softly through the rebar. I look back at it. TJ, why the hell would you sleep here next to the creepy mine? TJ frowns. It was really cool. Like cold. I was laying in the opening and I felt some cool air blow out, so I decided to lean against it. Oh, it feels really nice. TJ walks up to the metal grid and spreads his arms out, clutching onto bars as he presses his face against it. Ugh. He leans his head back, pulling a face. Well, it smells really musty, but it feels good. I look back at the opening, the blackness inside sending chills up my spine. I think back to when a body was found in there over 100 years ago. Even though I know there aren't any dead bodies in it now, it still creeps me the fuck out. I try to hide my shudder as I turn away, looking back at the truck. Hey, so are we going to Sydney's old house now? Is that why you guys came to find me? TJ's trying to hide it, but I can hear the eagerness in his voice. I turn back to look at him, the lynx now with his back to the mine pressed up against it. I want to tell him to move away from the opening, but I wouldn't be able to explain it to him why. Well, let me get some filming done first. I can do the voiceover later, so it'll be quick. I hold back a wince as I realise how much time that's also going to take. My project is going to be shit at this point, can't avoid that. I just needed to make the least shit as I can. Oh yeah, sorry. TJ laughs nervously, then looks away. Sorry, I'm just a little loopy from my nap. You guys really surprised me. Oh, it's okay. I'm going to go get my equipment really quick, okay? TJ nods at me, and I jog off to the parked truck to grab my camera. So TJ might still be acting a little weird, but I'm just glad he seems happy again. Seeing him the way that he was last night was a little unnerving, to say the least. I scoop up my camera bag from the bed of the truck and head back, slowing down to a walk as the heat is already starting to catch up with me. Well, TJ was able to go on a several-hour-long hike is absurd to me. It almost seems foolish. Especially for someone like TJ who knows about how dangerous they can be. When I get back to the mine entrance, I see Julian and TJ sitting with their backs to either side of the opening, chatting with each other. They're eating granola bars and TJ holds one out to me as I approach. Thanks. Hey, TJ. Huh? TJ looks up at me innocently. If you go on a hike again, be sure to bring me next time, okay? I don't think you should be alone out here. Oh, yeah, sure. His ears droop a little, a small frown on his face. I just don't want you to get hurt, you know? It's really hot today and it'd been really terrible if you'd passed out alone. Yeah, sorry. I drop my bag gently on the ground before leaning back against the wall next to the links. Oh, it's all good. Just want to make sure you're okay. Yeah, thanks. I just didn't want to wake you up this morning. Oh, Jenna offered to go with you, didn't she? TJ sighs quietly, looking away into the mine. Yeah, but I can tell you guys don't want to go. I just don't want to ruin this trip for you more than I already have. What? TJ, what are you talking about? TJ goes quiet, then just shrugs his shoulders. Maybe he isn't back to his old self after all. I wouldn't mind going along with you, TJ. I love hiking. Julian smiles gently at the links. For some reason, I feel a tiny tug of annoyance in my chest. Well, it's stupid, but I was the one who offered first, and I'm the one that took TJ out the first time. Yeah, we could both go. The point is you don't go out alone next time, alright, Tej? Yeah, okay. Thanks, guys. No problem. A short silence settles out between the three of us before Julian speaks up again. Oh, we were just talking about our old Bible study group. TJ leans his head back against the wall, rolling his eyes. It's an expression I don't see from him very often. What about it? Oh, just the way that TJ would always take it so seriously. No one else would. TJ shakes his head in exasperation. Yeah, I never had any control in that club. Oh, really? Were you in charge? It's a little odd to think of TJ in a leadership position like that. I just never knew him to put himself out there in high school. Yeah, I revived it after it sort of went defunct for a few years. Wasn't all that popular. TJ smiles with some embarrassment. Yeah, we had like 3 other members, not including you or me. Yeah, then one dropped out after like 2 meetings. Julian clicks his tongue. What a godless school we went to. Hey, you know I'm kidding, mostly. Well, I did want atheists to join too, as long as they weren't disruptive. I just wanted to show everyone what a nice experience it could be, even if you didn't believe. I very vaguely remember TJ inviting me to the club, me saying I'd think about it. I never went, of course. Wasn't all that spiritual in the end, though. Yeah, mostly we just talked and brought snacks. Took TJ a while to realise no one wanted another Sunday school session in actual school. Yep, hours of planning out the window. It was still a great time. I think the 4 of us were happier for it. Yeah, I guess. TJ seems to suddenly notice me. Ah, sorry, Chase, you wouldn't know much about this stuff. Oh, it's okay. It's interesting to hear about. Again, I get that little twinge of jealousy, even though I know it's not fair. I chose not to show up, probably using that time to go home and hang out with Leo. Oh, you didn't miss much, just discussions about movies and watching movies too. Ah, they couldn't even be religiously themed. Thank God. Hey! I laugh at how indignant TJ is. Well, I'm glad you had a good time at least. Came away thinking the whole thing was a failure. Well, I think I remember you mentioned that you wished your friend would have shown up. I don't really remember. Of course you do, you said it all the time. TJ's ears flatten and turn red. Who, me? Yep. Julian grins as TJ tries to look away. While the situation is kind of funny, now I feel even worse about not ever showing up. Sorry, Tej. You know, it was high school and all. Yeah, I understand. Don't worry about it. So did you start another club at your new school? TJ smirks. It's a Christian school, so there's like 50 clubs about religion. Oh, are you a member of any of them? A few. Which ones? A singles club. Singles? As in finding a date? Sure. He looks away again. It's hilarious how bashful he is about this stuff. He's in college, all of this should be natural to talk about, but not with TJ. You meet anyone? Hey Chase, don't you have to film some stuff? He looks back at me with a frown. Oh, just asking. Julian chuckles quietly. I bend down and start putting out my equipment, deciding a few long shots with a tripod should be enough. As I'm extending out the legs, Julian asks TJ about the hike. Was it fun? TJ shrugs, finishing the last of his granola bar, brushing his paws together to get rid of the crumbs. It was okay. It was really quiet. I wince as one of my pads gets pinched between metal. Kinda creepy, to be honest. I'd like it if you two went along sometime, if I do it again. Of course. Yeah, definitely. Over the next 20 minutes, I set up the camera in 3 different spots, getting about 1 minute of film for each. TJ and Julian sit in the truck while I do. Whenever I glance at them, they seem to be animatedly chatting and laughing. Once I'm done, I sigh and quickly snap the legs back down to the bag along with the camera. I see my to-go box in the dirt and consider picking it up, but I don't. I drop the bag into the truck again before hopping into the passenger seat, leaving TJ to sit between the two of us. They go quiet as we start pulling out onto the dirt road. What were you guys talking about? Not much, just about high school. TJ nods. Again, I'm starting to feel a little left out between these two, kind of like a third wheel. So, what's the plan now? Well, we thought we'd go to the house now after we pick up Jenna and Carl. Alright. We drive in silence a little while. For some reason I start to wish I was sitting in the middle. The way Julian keeps turning the wheel forces his elbow to brush up against TJ's side, and I force myself to look away, wondering what the fuck I'm thinking. I'm treating TJ like he's something that belongs to me. We've only hung out recently over the course of this week. I barely talked to him the past 2 years. I force myself to look ahead out the windshield. Then TJ's phone buzzes and my eyes naturally go to the screen as the link whips it out. I see the name Flynn, then the message underneath it. I only have time to see a few words. You know, fucking tell me. TJ jerks his phone back down. I look away just as I feel the link's eyes on my face. I wonder if he saw me looking. I'm sure he did. That doesn't really matter though, because now I'm wondering what the fuck Flynn thinks he's doing. They've been staying away from each other the past few days, obviously, but I guess Flynn found another way to get to TJ. What the fuck does he think he's doing? I feel myself getting angry. I don't exactly know what the list is saying to TJ, but judging by what I saw, it's definitely not good. I make a mental note to ask TJ about it tonight. If he won't tell me, then I'll let Leo know. He'll do something about it. We all walk up the sidewalk to the old ranch-style house. It's been a long, long time since I've seen this place. Even longer since I've walked on this path. Sydney's house is up the gravel road behind the forest. It's a bit of an odd spot, secluded from the rest of the town. It was all the better for us, I guess. It's nice not to be reminded of what happened. Guys, I don't know about this. Think he's just going to let us in? What else can we do? Maybe Sydney didn't mean his room. Where else would he sleep? I don't know. I mean, he'd nap in random places if I remember right. Like he slept on my couch even. Stop it, Chase. You know that's not what he meant. Well, who knows? I do. I know where it is. That dark edge of TJ's voice is creeping in again. I suppose there's no harm in asking. You can't deny it's a little weird for 5 young adults to just show up on your doorstep asking to be let in. We don't have much of a choice though, do we? TJ's walking ahead of all of us, marching up the concrete steps with hesitation, for immediately ringing the bell. Whoa, wait. We didn't even think of what we're going to say. I already know what I'm going to say. We stand there in stunned silence for a bit and look around at the others. Carl looks completely uncomfortable, almost nauseous, his paws shoved deep into his pockets as he stares hard at the ground. Jenna is staring at TJ, her brow furrowed, clearly worried. Julian just stands there as if the situation doesn't bother him at all. The door finally opens, revealing a young red panda not much older than ourselves. He blinks at us, then fixes a smile on his face. Hello, can I help you? I see TJ's ears flatten down for a moment, his originally tough resolve clearly faltering. Hello. The red panda stares down at TJ for a moment, waiting expectantly. I don't recognise him. I'm sure I'd have seen him around town if he'd moved in after Sydney's parents moved out. It must have been sometime recently, a few years ago. I decided then I should step in to let TJ try and gather his wits. Hi, I'm Chase. This is TJ, and Carl, Jenna and Julian. I point to everyone, feeling my cheeks grow hot. Hi everyone, I'm Inji. Another moment of awkward silence before I tried to think of something else to say. How the hell do you bring up wanting to search someone's house because it belonged to your dead friend? As I'm trying to figure that out, TJ speaks up again. Our friend used to live here about 12 years ago. Oh, really? The panda seems to think. Are you talking about Cindy? Sydney, yeah, he was our friend. Oh, sorry, I couldn't remember the name. I think his aunt told me about what happened. Yes, and he left something behind for us in his room. Is it alright if we come in and look for it? Inji's originally inquisitive look is replaced by one of confusion, and definitely a little bit of suspicion. Oh, all of you? I notice Carl still staring down hard at the floor, his paws twisted in his pockets. If that's alright with you. Inji stares at us all for a good 10 seconds, causing even me to glance down at the floor, realising how stupid all of this is. Finally starts to step back, closing the door a little bit as he does. I'm sorry, but I don't think that's a good idea. Wait! TJ steps forward, his fur bristling. The panda jumps a little, closing the door further until it's at the point where I can only see one of his eyes. Sorry, it's just... Maybe I could come in and the rest of my friends can wait outside? This'll be really quick. I know exactly where to look. The panda's one eye looks back at us. TJ turns around and makes a shooing gesture with both paws. There's a pause and we stumble back a little, down the steps onto the sidewalk. My face burns again in embarrassment, realising what a bunch of crazy people we look like right now. I look back and see TJ standing alone on the porch, looking back at the panda, his paws clasped together. Again, what feels like a very long silence seems to drag on until... Inji opens the door slightly. You know what? Why don't you just tell me where it is and I'll have a look. Oh, yeah, TJ seems surprised, if only now considering that idea. It's the room on the left, down that hallway. TJ points at the door at an angle. In the closet, in the back corner. It might be in a box. Inji's facial expression mirrors mine as I frown. A box in a closet sitting there for over a decade? Alright, I'll have a look. Inji disappears behind the door and I hear a deadbolt slide into place. We stand there in silence for a while before Carl breaks it. Dude, he's calling the police. No, he's not. We look like a bunch of crazy people. We should leave. Not until he comes back out. Well, I think I'm going to be sick. I think it's technically okay unless he tells us to leave. He did say he's going to look for it. No harm in just waiting for his answer. I see Carl scuff his hooves against the pavement, looking around nervously. I wonder if he's had too much weed or something. Why do you think it's in the closet? He used a shoebox in there as a spot for his treasure hunts before. You remember? I vaguely do now that he mentions it, but I'm surprised TJ does. He was even younger. Then the door opens and Inji comes back out. His facial expression is completely different now. It's one of amazement and disbelief, but it's what's in his paws that catches my attention. It's a teal-coloured shoebox, old and worn and torn to the corners. My mouth drops. Inji stands there for a moment holding the box out. Is this it? It's not mine, and there's a piece of paper inside. TJ's paw shakes as he reaches out to take the box, lifting the lid to look inside. It was in the spot you said. I've never seen that before. I feel my stomach twist, more dismayed than anything he found something. Do you not use that closet? It's a bit of an odd question, but I want to know how the hell he might have missed it. Inji shakes his head. No, not really. It's mostly a storage room right now. I think I've opened it a few times to put some boxes on the shelf, but I can't really remember. Did you not look inside when you first moved in? Inji looks at me and so does TJ over his shoulder. I guess now I'm sounding like the crazy person. Well, I can't really remember. It was a couple of years ago. I had family help me move them in, so maybe they just thought it was mine if they saw it. I want to ask more, but I bite my lip, not wanting to seem as frustrated and suspicious as I am. It's definitely something I could have missed. I found a few things in the crawl space from the last family. Who lived here before you, if you don't mind me asking? Ingy leans against the doorway, his arms folded, looking a lot more relaxed now. It was the family you're talking about, I think. The Bronsons? Yes. TJ's still looking down the box, having not taken out the note. Yeah, the woman who lived here moved out right after what happened. Then her sister moved in. She told me about what happened when I bought the place. Ingy looks down the box that TJ's still holding. Do you know what he left you? I didn't know how to find it. It's an old scavenger hunt that we found. He told us to come here. Like something he left behind? Yeah. Wow, well, I'm sorry about what happened to your friend. You must have been children at the time? No one says anything, so I nod for him. I'm sorry. Also sorry for being so suspicious when you guys showed up. Thought I got someone to trying to break in a few days back. Can't be too careful. Don't worry about it. That's completely understandable. Ingy nods, then shifts around. I don't want to pry, but what does it say? I didn't read it since I don't want to intrude or anything. TJ lifts the lid again and reaches in to pull out the piece of paper. It's identical to the others that we've seen. Ingy takes the box and the link so he can use both paws to unfold the note. Then he starts reading. I hope that you're all having fun. Soon you'll know what Chase has done. Figure it out, it's a piece of cake. If you can't, look by Carl's drawing at the lake. It goes quiet for a while. The only sound is the wind rustling through the trees. Then they hear a gagging sound and look back just in time to see Carl hurling into some bushes. TJ is strangely calm as we sit in the motel room. It's been about half an hour since we found the last note. After Carl lost his lunch in the bushes, Julian drove him back home. We had to put the scavenger hunt on hold. TJ wants us all to be there for it. Julian is still with us, and I keep wondering when the hell he's going to go home. We just joined our little group today, and TJ acts like he needs to be part of this for some reason. Barely even knew Sydney. But that doesn't really matter. This whole thing is so ridiculous. It's so obvious that Sydney had nothing to do with this scavenger hunt. Someone's planting these damn notes and they have it out for me. I sit with my back against the headboard of the bed, staring at my legs as TJ tries to defend this whole thing. If it's really bothering you, Chase, then you don't have to come. I bristle a bit. You're insisting everyone else go, why not me? I force myself not to look over at Julian. I do want you to come, but you're so angry. I've never seen you like this. Oh, I have. We all have. Chase is just acting like his old self now. Jenna sits in the corner on a laptop as usual, smirking. Pisses me the fuck off. Listen, whoever's writing these has it out for me. Look at what the last one said. Sydney wrote them and he always kind of teased you. It's just like him. I go quiet, looking away with a glare. What do you think the clues are implying about you, Chase? I think for a moment, but it's hard with all the anger that keeps threatening to bubble to the surface. I don't know. I just don't like the sound of it, and honestly, I try to think of the right way to word what I'm going to say. If you respect me, you'd see that and stop this stupid hunt. It goes quiet for a moment, then Julian stands up. Hey, I'm going to head out. Let me know what you guys decide to do tomorrow. I've got the whole day off. Oh, okay, man. Thanks so much for coming with us. TJ gives the stag a side hug and I try to keep myself from bristling. Once Julian leaves out the door, TJ sits on the foot of the bed looking at me. I completely respect you, Chase, but I really think these are from Sydney. He's just teasing you. I don't say anything, choosing to look at the wall, feeling more unnerved by my own emotions than anything else. I don't feel like myself at all. I know I asked you this morning. Do you think this is someone else's doing? Who could it be? Jenna crosses her arms, looking at me earnestly. I sit there quietly for a moment, debate on whether or not I should tell them. I decide I have to, since neither of the others seem to see it. I think it's Flynn. What? I think it's Flynn and Carl. They're doing this whole thing. You can't be serious. Who else? Carl's the one that found the first note. I think Flynn gave it to him. The looks on Jenna and TJ's faces make me look away again. Am I going crazy? Chase, that's... Crazy, I know, but you saw how Carl was acting today, how nervous he was, even threw up. Carl does that sometimes. I slide my legs off the bed and let them hang over the side, fully facing the wall now. I know how Flynn was back at the river, but even he wouldn't do that. I look back at TJ with a glare. What about those texts he's sending you? What? TJ's paw flies to his pocket, a shocked look on his face. Jenna looks between us. What? Flynn sent TJ a text swearing at him. I think he's been messaging you this whole time. TJ's quiet, just staring at me. TJ, is that true? TJ stares at the floor for a moment before finally looking up, his voice oddly calm. Yeah, well, he's angry. Of course he would be. But he has no reason to be writing a scavenger hunt. Flynn would never do that. You sure about that? TJ glares back at me, and now I can tell I've made him angry. Yes. Why would he do it in the first place? I don't have to think hard on that one. To hurt TJ, to ruin our friendship by making up lies about me, to just be a complete dick? Take your pick. That's absolutely ridiculous. I don't say anything, choosing to glare at the wall. Jenna looks between us again and shakes her head. Alright, that's enough of this. Neither of you are acting like yourselves, so I think it's best we head to bed, alright? Whatever. I slide into the bed on my side, still staring at the wall, listening as TJ gets up and goes into the bathroom. Jenna goes on typing on her computer. I lay there quietly, deciding I'm going to have to do something to stop this. Sneaking out the motel room is probably the hardest part. I know that if they catch me at any point, it's over. At about 3 a.m, I slide out of the bed, listening to TJ's snores, watching Jenna's unmoving form curled up on the bed in front of me. Quietly, I dig around in my bag for my keys and slip out the door into the night. I grip my teeth as my car starts up, imagining TJ or Jenna pulling back the curtains and seeing me sitting in the car. I've got excuses. I'm sick, I had to drive to the emergency room, or even that I just couldn't sleep and wanted to get a snack somewhere. They're all suspicious, but it should be enough to cover my ass if things go south. I drive along the quiet road, my surroundings almost black since the moon has set. It takes me a moment to find the side road that will take me to the shore. Once I do, I see one lonely orange light stand in the middle of the parking lot, where I park in the corner in the darkness. I sit in the car for a while, wondering what I'm doing, wondering what the fuck I'm going to do. But something drives me, a feeling if I don't do this then the rest of my life is going to be ruined. I can't let that happen. I open the door and quickly get out. I pull out my phone and turn on the light, finding the small dirt trail that leads out into the inky blackness. The air is cool and I can smell the lake. Pretty soon I can hear it too, the soft desolate sounds of the waves running against the thin strip of shore. It's peaceful, but at the same time it terrifies me, and for a moment I feel like the lake is one giant living thing. It dwarfs me with its presence, a giant all-knowing thing. It knows I'm here. I shudder and force myself to continue. I find the shoreline and the dry sand shifts under my feet as I take a right and follow the shore. I try to ignore the sounds of the lake, the feeling that it's watching me, beckoning me towards it. Finally I come across the boulder that I'm looking for, the one that Carl used to carve his drawings into. Of course it would be something Carl used, that fat piece of shit. I kneel down beside it, moving the light of my phone around until I find the drawings. I look at the super wolf etched into the rock, glaring. Then I see a glint of light above it. I shift the phone light up to see what it is. I gasp and I can't help a ragged scream from escaping my throat. A tarantula sits there staring back at me, its cluster of eyes shining back in the darkness. I stumble back in the sand and fall, sitting down hard and causing my teeth to clack together. I scramble back up. I look around for a rock and quickly find one. When I turn back around and lift the light, the spider is gone. I look around for a while, in case it just moved around. Maybe on the ground, closer to me. I don't see anything though, and I throw the rock at the lake, cursing the damn thing. Then I kneel down and look at the spot between the rocky ground and the boulder. It takes a few moments, and I had to get real close, looking deeper into the crevice, and then there's a glint of what looks like metal. I start to dig, first with my bare hands, then with the help of a flat rock laying nearby. I'm sweating and gasping by the time I pull the thing free. It looks like an old lunchbox. I shine a light on it and barely make out what looks like a cartoon dragon. I open it and pull out the note. I read it. In a fit of rage, I tear the stupid thing in half, throwing it on the ground. You fucker! I hiss it out through my teeth, then pull out the piece of paper I'd taken out of one of Jen's notebooks along with the pen. I write for a moment, using the old lunchbox as a flat surface. When I'm done, I drop it into the box, then wedge the box into the crevice, covering it up with the loose dirt I'd moved. I pack it down, then stand back up. Thinking twice, I pick up the shredded note and stuff it into my pocket. Then I walk back up the shore and up the trail, ignoring what looks like the eye shine of tarantulas all around me. Maybe it's just the stars. I don't remember much of the drive back or the parking lot of the motel. The next thing I know, I'm standing next to the bed, glaring down at TJ, watching him sleep. The beat continued.